So this is the Ujjayi session, right? It's part of your
Mhm.
online course. And, maybe this is going to be a review for you, but let's see where it goes. So Ujjayi is Sanskrit for victorious. So it's known as the victorious breath or the oceanic um, sounding breath. And in the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, which is known as the authority text in modern day, in our modern day society, as the authority of yoga. And in this textbook, it describes the Ujjayi as it gives us the visual of the conqueror or the warrior, the proud warrior, where the chest is puffed up and the breath is like that. We're filling up the lower like the diaphragm, the middle lungs, the upper lungs fully. Even can think of it, the air is like behind the heart. Now, of course, that doesn't happen, but this is the visual that the book invites us to think of when we're breathing in the Ujjayi breath. So moving, just kind of like staying away from the short, shallow chest breathing, because that is associated with the sympathetic system. So that's like the fight and flight. We want to move away from that. So when we're breathing in this full body breath, we are communing with the parasympathetic system of the body, the rest and digest. So we're slowing down the brain waves. We are actually, it's helping to prepare all systems of the body for our practice so that we're not in the monkey mind anymore, right? So there's many benefits to this breath, such as it helps with insomnia. So if any of your students are suffering from like they're insomniacs, or they have high blood pressure, anxiety, panic attacks, overactive, overthinking mind, which is very common in today's society, in our modern world, because it seems like our modern world is almost training us to be very, reactive. And so, and sort of like squishing down the emotions or squishing down our connection to what's real, which is our divine, the internal, authentic, uh, the divine, our true self. And in Sanskrit, that is known as the Atma. And our society really disconnects us from that connection, the connection to ourselves, the connection to nature, connection to rest when we're tired, and, all of those things. So, of course, the anxiety and the panic attacks are a byproduct of the way that the lifestyle is in modern day society. And so the Ujjayi is a very safe breathing technique for anyone, for children, for women, pregnancy, for people with high blood pressure, even psychological sensitivities that we could almost tiptoe as yoga teachers. Were a little bit, ooh, I don't know. I'm talking about things like bipolar, like Ujjayi is safe for those students. On a spiritual level, the Ujjayi helps to practice what's known as pratyahara in our 8 limbs. Pratyahara is sense control withdrawal, and it's a practice of withdrawing from the senses. So giving our senses a rest. So giving um, our sight a rest, that kind of thing. And how does that happen? Well, when we're, let's say, in Ashtanga yoga and we're incorporating the Ujjayi breath, that is the opportunity or the invitation to draw our awareness inwardly. And through the Ujjayi breath, it amplifies or it actually shuts down everything around us if we are truly in mindful, practice with this breathing technique. I hope that that makes sense. Yeah, great. And
Yes,
so
absolutely.
yeah, so it's a practice of pratyahara, and pratyahara is one of those limbs that can take us into the other limbs as well. So it takes us into higher forms of meditation. In Sanskrit, that's dhyana, the eight limb. And and then of course the final one, samadhi. And so, at first glance, it's like, oh yeah, sure, I know Ujjayi breath. It's, what I do in the practice, but quite honestly, and real talk here, it personally took me about 5 or 6 years to truly feel comfortable with this breathing style. So what is this breathing style, this breathing technique? It's not a pranayama. So according to Krishnamacharya and B.N.S. Iyengar, pranayama is only when there's kumbhaka, so breath retention, whether it's breath retention on the inhalation or breath retention on the exhalation. And with Ujjayi, we don't really do that. So it's just considered a breathing technique, right? And we are activating the back of the throat, known as the epiglottis. And we're gently constricting the epiglottis to create a sonorous, it almost sounds like a snore, um, or ocean waves sound. And this sound is the drishti. This is our point of focus when we're practicing, let's say vinyasa, for example, vinyasa flow. It's what keeps us in the present moment, mindfully and detached from the physical realm. And we're going inwardly. And it actually helps us prevent injuries as well, because we're very aware in the present moment because the tool of the Ujjayi breath. And going a bit further in our practice, we can take a body scan when we're in, let's say, warrior two. And because we're so mindful and we're going inward, we are able to be more aware of what's happening in the body. So it could be just a slight discomfort of the knee, let's say, when you're bending your knee in warrior two. And so that awareness can help prevent injuries in the future. Like, oh, maybe I shouldn't overextend my knee. Let's see if I can activate the tendons and all the little muscles around the knee joint, right? Because that's a common injury is the knee joint, is because we're kind of pressing too hard on and we're causing too much tension and over usage of the joint. So when we have that awareness, like, ooh, there's a little twinge there. Let me see if I can do something different to be more holistic in the practice. Any questions about that so far? So
It's pretty clear for me because I breathe Ujjayi myself when I practice.
great.
Um, yeah,
Beautiful.
and I use it. Yeah, and I think I started breathing Ujjayi when I was pregnant and doing yoga all
Oh,
three
wow.
times.
Oh, wow. You're a mother. That's so beautiful.
Yeah, like three
Oh my
kids.
gosh, you're amazing. And you're teaching yoga and you're working and oh my gosh, you're taking an online course. Good for you. That's
Yeah, I'm quite active.
You should feel very proud of yourself. That is not an easy
Thank, thank you
accomplishment.
so much.
Yeah, I just want to celebrate you. That's just amazing.
It's
Just
such a
wow.
kind word.